Hi there. How are you? Good, good. So you are here today to discuss some things going on in your personal life? Okay, yeah, that's what I'm here for. So, this is not therapy. I am not licensed or anything like that, but I do have a lot of experience just guiding people, helping them. So, the way I describe my practice is life coaching. So, I'm sure that you've already looked into everything we do in this office on our website. But if you want any more clarity, please do feel free to ask me any question. Nothing is off the table here, okay? Great. I just want you to feel as comfortable as possible. If you can't open up and feel comfortable with me, then you're not going to get everything out of this that you can, okay? I also want you to have realistic expectations. We are not going to solve all of your problems with one session. You may even come out of today's session feeling like you have more questions than answers, which is completely normal. As we divulge into your history and anything you want to discuss, we can be coming up with more questions than you even started with. So I don't want you to leave today thinking that, this was useless or causes more confusion for you. As we get into things deeper, that tends to be what happens. We form more questions before we can find the answers, if that makes sense, okay? Great. So, why don't you just tell me a bit about what brought you in, what convinced you to come in here, what it is that you want help dealing with. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's very common. You're not alone in that, I promise you. Now, when did that begin? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you've been dealing with this for a while. Alright. Yeah, that must be hard. Mm-hmm. Okay, so why don't you tell me a bit about the things that you've already tried before coming here? Was this your last resort? Did you decide to come here and seek help like very quickly? Uh-huh. Okay. Well, good that I'm glad you took those steps. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely understand. Mm-hmm. This year has been very difficult for all of us, some more than others, and such a large change in your life can really throw you for a loop, and it can be very difficult to adapt. Yeah. Yeah, and then when other changes are thrown on top of that, it can be quite hectic. So, the fact that you're dealing with anxiety is very, very common. It's normal, it's nothing to be ashamed of, but with that, it is also not something that you should have to deal with. Anxiety can be very paralyzing in your life. It can prevent you from living a full social life, it can prevent you from being successful at work, and I'm sure as you've described, you already know some of that. And here what I can do is outline different steps you can take, and each of these are not, I don't think you should take every one of them. Some might connect with you more than others, but I'm going to offer you all the different avenues that you could take to help deal with this. So today, like I said, this is only our first session, so I will be asking you a lot of questions, things to get you thinking, maybe give you a little bit of homework to do, nothing like school. And then, next session we'll come back, and after you've thought about some of the options I've given you, you can let me know what sounds best to you, or if you'd like to come up with something new together. It's really all up to you. I am not here to tell you what to do. I want you to know you are in charge of your life. This is all up to you. Any choices that you make or that I help you make, they all come from you. You know, I might suggest something, but I want you to know that you are in control. I'm only here to guide, not to, you know, lend advice or tell you what to do. But I'm here as kind of a sounding board, someone to give you all the avenues you could take, all the options, kind of let you know that you have someone here who will support you no matter what your decision is, okay? Okay, so from what you've told me so far, I can see that you are very much struggling with anxiety. Now, you didn't get into too much detail, but would you mind explaining to me some of the instances that you feel anxious, things that trigger it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And does that also happen at night? Yeah. Okay. Has it led to any difficulty sleeping? Nightmares? Okay. Yeah. Mhm. Now, are you taking anything for sleep? And whether it is a natural supplement or something over the counter, prescription perhaps? Okay. Okay, that's fine. Do you find that that helps when you take that? Do you have less nightmares? Do you have more restful sleep? Okay, good, good. Then we're not going to change anything there. Like I said, I don't really prescribe. I don't prescribe anything. I may suggest some things, but because I am not a doctor, I don't prescribe any sort of medication or anything like that. But I do, you know, educate myself on the side effects of medication that may be giving you certain, you know, symptoms. But you said in your intake form that you were not on any prescription medication. Okay. Do you take any vitamins other than what you take for sleep? Okay. Okay. hmm So you said that this anxiety really started to be noticeable and impact your daily life about 6 months ago. So, at exactly that point, or roughly before then, what things in your life were really changing? Of course, we know this year, but was there anything more personal, something that isn't so generalized that altered in your life at that point? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds like it could definitely be difficult. Uh-huh. And with everything going on top of that, yeah. Okay. So, you decided to come here for some guidance. Do you have any idea of how you'd like to move forward? Anything that's out of the question that you wouldn't be open to doing or trying? Okay, and is there anything that maybe you've read about or heard about that you are interested in, but you just need a little kind of nudge into it? Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Mm. So you are interested in adding some light exercise into your routine? hmm Yeah. You don't want to go to a gym, which I completely understand. What kind of exercise are you thinking about? Maybe daily walks or jogging, yoga, Pilates, things like that? Okay. Okay, well, since you did say your anxiety happens to be extra strong when you leave the house, I would suggest taking baby steps. So start with maybe some yoga in your bedroom or your living room. You know, you can do guided sessions on YouTube. hmm from there, try to maybe go into your backyard, do some yoga poses or whatever, you know, form of exercise you prefer. And then from there, you can go on walks just maybe down the street and kind of work your way up to see where you feel comfortable. Some days may be better, some days may be worse. I know when I personally have dealt with anxiety, it can be very disheartening when you've been feeling very good for a long period of time and then you get a bad day and you don't even want to leave the house. But you kind of have to take the good days as wins and the bad days as just part of life. You need a break sometimes, and sometimes anxiety happens. So, I would recommend if you want to start with some light exercise to do it that way. You know, start at home and then slowly work your way further and further out. If you have a close friend, you can exercise with them at home. maybe go for walks with them, try their neighborhood instead of yours. Things like that are just baby steps to kind of get you out of your comfort zone, but in a comfortable pace. Yeah. Do you mind explaining to me what your diet is like? Okay, okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, okay. And would you say you drink enough water? Okay, I definitely keep that in mind. I know most of us forget throughout the day. If there's any ways that you can remember, I would always recommend having a full glass before when you wake up in the morning, before coffee or anything, and then again before bed. That's one way to get your full glasses in without having to kind of disrupt the rest of your day. I'd also recommend getting a bottle that has the times of the day on it. It can be very helpful to kind of remind you to be drinking throughout the day, not just like drink a whole bottle and then not for 5 hours. Yeah. Now, as even though you coming in here for these sessions is a great way to discuss things, get them off your chest, kind of put them out in the open, kind of analyze things, I am not a licensed therapist, so would you be willing to go to therapy? Is that something that would interest you? Okay, okay, I understand that completely. Is medication something that you'd consider? That isn't my first option usually, because there can be a lot of side effects to medication for anxiety. But if you try these things out and you still are struggling, we do look at that as an option. I have lots of referrals I can give you for wonderful doctors who will take it easy on medication. They don't just jump into prescribing. They really want to see what your issues are, start you on a low dose and build up if you need it. Now, like I said, this is our first session, so we're not there yet, but I would like to know if that's something you'd be open to in the future, if that's something that you really don't want to, look into. Okay. Okay, so we can circle back to that in maybe a couple of months to see how you're doing. Okay. Yeah, medication is definitely not a last resort, but it's not always a first resort either. I myself have been on medication for anxiety for quite a long time now. Like you, I did begin with, changing my lifestyle a bit, changing what I ate, my exercise routines. I even went to therapy to help with cognitive behavioral therapy to kind of change how I think about things, which is something I can help with you with mildly, at least on the surface. And all of that helped, but I kind of reached a plateau where I needed to really consider if medication was the right option for me, and for me it was, and it's made a huge difference, and it's actually what led me to be able to help people the way I do now. So I do want you to know, medication is nothing to feel ashamed of. If you do decide to go down that path, it is nothing that you should feel like, you couldn't do it yourself, that you're a failure, nothing like that. I hear that a lot from my clients, and that is not true. Medication is not the easy way out. It is not just, take a pill and feel better. Along with medication, therapy, discussing, talking, working on your lifestyle, they all go hand in hand, and there's nothing wrong with taking medication for mental health at all, no matter how many people in the world don't understand it. So I do want to just make sure you understand that. Okay, good. Now, I know today's session is not going to be a long one. This is not one of our full-length sessions. This is more of an introductory session, so we are going to shut down today soon and make an appointment following up. But for now, is there anything else you wanted to get out in the open before we move forward, before we make more appointments? Okay, I'm glad that you told me that. That's definitely something that we should discuss in the future. Is that something you feel comfortable talking about? Okay, good. Great. I also want to let you know that if you feel it is necessary at some point, we do offer couples and family therapy as well. So if you decide, you'd like to have a sibling, a parent, a partner come in with you long term, or just for 1 or 2 appointments here and there so they can understand what you're going through. We do that. I find that it can be very eye-opening for partners to see what you're going through from someone else's perspective. When you live with someone or see someone every day, it can be hard to kind of understand what they are going through, even when they tell you. But when a third party comes in and says, yes, this person does struggle with anxiety or depression, it's easier for them to kind of grasp that. So I do want to let you know that as an option if you do want to bring your partner in or a parent or anything like that at any point. Yeah. In that case that you did want to do that, I would need them to sign a form, letting me take notes on the appointment, things like that. It's nothing, crazy. It's one sheet, very simple. It's the same thing that you signed before you started. And, they would just have to be able to come in here in the office and be willing to hear you out, listen, share, and just be open. Yeah, this is not an attack. This is not blaming anyone. It's just kind of a way to get them to listen in a safe space that isn't kind of just you two, but with someone else, kind of to prevent any anger from building. You can also bring in multiple people if you choose. I like to usually start with just one, but we wouldn't come to that until about a month in, just so I can get to know you and understand you before we try to explain things to someone else. How does that sound? Okay, great. So our next appointment, though, will just be you and I, and we will discuss further some of the things you mentioned today, and we will try to get into some more detail. I will also, over the next week, be working on some homework assignments for you to do, some things like journaling, just some exercises that you can do in your free time to reduce your level of anxiety, to help you relax, things like that. I don't usually, do that right after our first session because I need some time to kind of look at what we've been discussing today and, see what I think would fit you best. And we will experiment with these things as the time goes on, what doesn't work, what does, things like that. And I want you to know that you can call anytime at the office. We also do have an emergency line if you need it. And all of that is in the packet that you got when you first signed in today. Okay, so do make sure you look through that so you can understand everything. If you have any questions, like I said, you can always call if you need to, and we are happy to help. So I am very happy that you decided to come in here today, meet me, talk with me, and open up. I think it's going to be really great for you, and I'm excited to work together moving forward. Yes. So if you step outside, you can make your appointment. I would say a week from today is good. So whatever time works for you, you can just let my secretary know, okay? Wonderful. I'll see you soon then, okay? Bye-bye.